Hi, this is Ted. Today, why are people rejecting you? Some of you have already mentioned that you've perhaps written to or talked to friends and they totally blow you out of the water. They just totally, completely reject everything you have to say. I need to explain a little bit of why this happens. First of all, it goes back to our desire, and all of us do this. We need to quickly analyze a lot of things in life, a lot. We don't have time to sit down and analyze in great detail very much. Sometimes if you have a job in some area, you might be analyzing quite a bit in one area, but I guarantee there's a lot of other areas that you're not spending a lot of time analyzing. And because of that, what you do is jump to quick conclusions because that's how we are made. Let's say I'm in some kind of field and lions live in my area, and I see something in the grass. I don't know what it is. I don't have time to be analyzing and trying to figure out if I'm close to that movement. I don't have time to figure out, is that a lion or is that a friend of mine joking or what? So I don't have the time to analyze it, and I have to act quickly. So I quickly assume, usually in this case, the worst, and run. The slow people or the people who are trying to spend time analyzing end up dying. So analyzing quickly is part of our nature. It's part of something that we have to do on a regular basis, constantly, in order to survive, in order to live. Because of this, there are a lot of discomforts with gray zones for a lot of people. Things that are complex. We like to simplify. We want to make things as simple as possible because we don't have time to, as I mentioned, analyze so much. Now, there is a threat that comes to all of us, and that is cognitive dissonance. When people disagree with you or with me, I'll take myself for example. When I see disagreements, even though people commenting are disagreeing with what I say and say, you don't have the Holy Spirit, you're not filled with God, you're not saved, those kinds of things, yes, they bother me. There's this quick bothering, but I know better than reacting to that kind of stuff because I know better. And I don't answer to them, but I answer to God. Nevertheless, it does. There is a little tiny bit of cognitive dissonance anytime somebody disagrees with something that's very personal to me. And that's the same with all of us. We feel this kind of threat that is low-key for a lot of us. Some people feel more threatened than others. Therefore, and this is what most of us do, when we do feel a little bit threatened, we look for something to protect what I already believe. In other words, something to build on what I already believe. For example, I'm going to take politics. Let's say I really believe President Biden is the best president there ever was. And I really, I'm committed to this. And somebody comes along and said, no, Trump was much better, and tries to argue against me. Do you think I'm just going to, okay, sure. No, I'm going to defend. And what happens a lot of times, because I'm feeling discomfort, and believe me, the prophets, so-called prophets, are all feeling discomfort when people say, you are not from God. But to protect themselves, what they do is they dig in deeper. This has been proven over and over again with studies, that people don't give in to the other side when they are faced with the other side, even with good reason. What they will do is dig their feet in deeper, because what we are doing is called confirmation bias. And I've brought this up in other videos, but that confirmation bias is what helps protect us when we feel that uneasy feeling that something down there is saying we're wrong. And that is what's going on with the people you're talking to, the people you're trying to help out. And in fact, to go into a public place or any place and call them out and say you're a false prophet, all you're doing is confirming to everybody even more, you're a wacko and they are right, because they will dig their feet in deeper into whatever they believe. The confirmation bias that I need doesn't only come from information and looking for information, but it's also looking for my group support, because groups help support each other, because groups are constantly under attack from different ideas and different things. And so we huddle together and try to help protect each other. And when somebody in our own group begins to get swayed to the other side, to the dark side, we try to peer pressure them into staying with us one way or another. And so this is what's going on in a lot of your groups, and that's why it's so hard to leave a cult or a group that is unhealthy. It's very difficult, because they're going to be doing this very human group kind of thinking and group kind of peer pressure to keeping you in. And ultimately, they can shun you. And it's a typical way of, and I'm not officially shunning, but you will start feeling like you're alienated, like you're weird, like you're the stranger, because you're not going along with the crowd. But in reality, in a lot of times, you might be the right person, but that's another reason why it's so hard for people to get out of groups, because a lot of these groups will put on so much pressure for you to stay in there. But in reality, what they're doing is protecting themselves with confirmation bias. And part of that confirmation bias is supporting each other. And when you stop supporting them in word and in deed, they will find ways to try to bring you back in. This is Ted. You have a good day.